Hi guys, my name is Jefferson Lee, and today for my history presentation, I'll be discussing the Holocaust and whether it is fact or fake, and some of the evidence that I've found that supports my idea, that which I will conclude at the end. Now I'm going to warn you, some of the graphics on here may be a little bit graphic, so if you have a weak stomach, you might want to leave the room. So, before getting into it, let me explain exactly what the Holocaust was. So the Holocaust went from 1933 to 1945. So the Holocaust was a mass murder or genocide of approximately 6 million Jews during World War II, a state-sponsored murder led by Nazi leader Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party throughout Germany and the German-occupied states. So before I get into the discussion whether it's fact or fake, we need to identify the man that was believed to have led the Holocaust during that time. This is Adolf Hitler. He was born in Austria in 1885. Hitler grew up like every other normal child, going to school, doing well with his studies, and aspiring to be some great things throughout life, which it started off he did. He was a very respected war veteran during World War I. And Hitler gained a lot of respect when he helped fight the Treaty of Versailles for the Germans. But as time went on, he headed the German Party in 1921, and there soon after tried to take over and try to seize power in 1923, which led to his imprisonment in 1924. So when that happened, probably some red flags should have went up, but he was actually, in 1933, he actually took office in Germany. But then after he took office, he was not necessarily the greatest leader that everybody thought he was going to be at that time. Hitler is said to be responsible for the genocide of over 5.5 million Jews. Reportedly on April 30th, 1945, he took his own life at age 60. Now we've seen who's behind all these horrific crimes. Let's see both sides to the story, whether it's fact or fake. So first, could the Holocaust all be a lie? Everything that we have ever learned throughout history and classes and school and everything, could that have been some made-up fairy tale? Yes, believe it or not, there are many, many people out there that believe that the Holocaust was fake. Some claims was that books written back in World War II by leaders at the time never mentioned any of the genocide or gas executions or the mass executions of any type of people happening at that time. Next, there was a book written by Elie Wiesel called Night. Elie Wiesel was a Romanian Jewish American that was actually a prisoner at Buchenwald concentration camp, and the book is talking about his time spent in prison. And there were several times in that book that he made statements saying if he had a chance to return with the Germans or stay under Soviet Union protection, that he would actually choose to stay with the Germans, which raised a lot of questions during that time. Another argument that is brought up on several occasions is that if there were 6 million Jews that were executed at that time, why was there no bodies found, no mass number of bodies throughout history, which there are no record of 6 million bodies found piled up at a time? The last argument that's brought up, and I'm not too sure how much data there is to back that up, is a census that was taken of the Jewish people before World War I. They say if there were 6 million people killed during that time, each Jewish family would have to have given birth to 13 children. There's a lot of things that can be argued about the Holocaust, whether Anne Frank diary was plagiarized or forged and all that stuff. But when I was growing up, my mother always said the proof is in the pudding. Well, the proof is in the pudding. We have millions upon millions of pictures and videos about what actually happened during those times. And if that's not evidence enough for you, let me talk a little bit about the Nuremberg trial. The Nuremberg trial was when 22 Nazi war criminals were convicted of conspiracy, crimes against peace, war crimes, and crimes against humanity. There were several judges on the panel from all different countries, so there was no biased decisions made. So the judges at that time, what made this special is they wanted to convict the Nazi criminals by their own words. So through months of asking the questions and stuff, the criminals finally did come out and said that they actually committed these crimes. Also at the time, there was millions of videos and pictures that was captured and given to the judges at the time, that was captured by the Allied forces. So the Holocaust happened. It's all too real, actually, for the people who went through it. And unfortunately, it did happen. You can say what you want, but the evidence is here. The pictures, the videos, it all happened. And it's a pretty big slap in the face to people who lived through it and are now saying that it never happened. That evidence is presented, and the conclusion that it's a fact. Thank you guys for listening, and I hope you enjoyed.